Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could join us as well. I'm excited to welcome Coyote Peterson to our broadcast today. You guys know him as an Emmy Award-winning host and wildlife adventurer. We've gotten to see him, of course, do some amazing things on Brave Wilderness. But he also is an individual who's using his platform to make a difference, and he's doing that with the first ever Brave the Court tournament that's coming up. I want to talk to Coyote not only about his amazing journey, but also what is it that led him to want to share his own love of the hoops with others and how you guys can be a part of it as well. Coyote, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me this morning, Cyrus. Looking forward to the conversation.
Same here. Well, look, I have to admit, I'm one of those who have watched you and laughed a little bit and even grimaced some too, Coyote. I'm sure people have around the world with your videos. I mean, billions of views on those. I want to talk about that experience for you because it's very obvious that you're a very curious person, Coyote. What has it been like for you to share that curiosity and the results with the rest of us?
Yeah, great question. It's really important. In many instances with nature as a whole, people are terrified of what they don't know. And while I may put myself into some extreme situations, we show you how difficult it is to even get yourself in those situations. And that ultimately the worst case, if you're bitten or stung by something, it may be painful, but it's not going to be everlasting. And in many cases, the creatures that we showcase, you see how hard it is for me to even find, let alone catch them. So you really got to find yourself having a bad day if you run into a lot of these things. But for us, it's about finding ways to make things entertaining, still make it educational, and when possible to really focus on conservation for certain species, because the more appreciation we have for the planet and the animals that are here and the fact that they serve an important purpose, the better we can protect it all moving forward into the future.
Yeah, that's such a great point, Coyote, and it goes to what you're doing at Brave the Court, which we're going to get into. But I love the fact because you do have, of course, viewers that watch you of all ages all over the place, but young people in particular, I think, are very curious in what you've been able to do. What has that been like for you to spark their own interest in not only the world around them, but also adventure as well?
Well, with the younger audience group that we have, when you're younger, you generally have more of an interest in animals and dinosaurs and those sorts of things that are pre-video game and sports and cars and all of that. So we feel it's important to, while kids may be watching on the internet or on TV, inspiring them to get outside and do some exploration on their own. Go out and catch frogs and turtles and non-venomous snakes. Get up close with these things that drive that curiosity, because eventually that may lead to somebody wanting a career in biology or botany or marine biology. And these are the people that are going to ultimately end up protecting the planet and its species, decades from now. So we feel it's really important to make sure the influence we're providing the next generation keeps their mind open to exploration and learning about why the pieces of our planet are so important.
Yeah, and that brings us to how you've been able to use your platform, Dan Coyote, that being, as I mentioned, your videos being viewed billions of times. You're an Emmy Award-winning host, but you also are using your platform to raise awareness, and you've collaborated with celebrities for a cause, and that leads us back to what we were talking about with Brave the Court. I think a lot of people, they know your love of adventures and the outdoors. What has it been like for you to also share your love of the hoops and basketball?
So I grew up in the 90s, so the Michael Jordan era was what was my sports experience growing up. And I played basketball in grade school and high school and was into sports cards and sneakers back in the day. And it's just amazing that sneaker culture has made such a massive resurgence. You just had the Matt Damon and Ben Affleck movie Air that came out a few weeks ago. So timing for all this is perfect. But, I was never skilled enough in basketball to ever think about making it to the NBA, even though I may have dreamed that, so I realized early on, well, that wasn't going to be a thing. But, still loving basketball to this day, when I got asked to be involved in Celebrities for a Cause, which their big event this year is a celebrity basketball game, they asked me if I wanted to come out a couple days early to do something that was more youth-oriented. And while at first we were looking at something that could be maybe taking kids on an adventure or possibly having some animals brought in, I said, well, let's keep it thematic. Let's let's go the basketball route. So we created Brave the Court, which is open to kids between the ages of 14 and 18, and it's a tournament that will be all bracketed out, and as you win and move up in the tournament, sort of like a video game, I become the last boss of the levels, where if you get to the end of the tournament, you play me in a best-of-3 series, and you have the chance to win a pair of Air Jordans or a pair of Nike Air Pennies, depending if you are a fan of Michael Jordan or, like me growing up, a fan of Penny Hardaway. Now, most people who are younger probably don't know who Penny Hardaway is nowadays, but, I mean, he was massive back in the 90s, and his sneakers, strangely enough, are still very relevant in shoe culture. So it'll be fun. You know, it's a way for kids to stay active and, you know, ultimately get the chance to win a pair of shoes.
Exactly. And I think, too, it has some bragging rights against you, too, Coyote. I think that's,
absolutely.
Now, definitely something.
I'm good at basketball. I'm not great. I'm good enough to hold my own. And I'm telling you, there are 14 to 8-year-olds out there that could definitely ball the heck out of me and win my shoes. So I will be giving it my all. So this isn't going to just be Coyote rolling over so you can win shoes. I'm going to try to hold on to those pairs of shoes, but I have a good feeling that somebody's going to be able to get them from.
I love that. And the process is very easy. So I do want our audience to know all you guys have to do is go to bravethecourt.com. There you can see the story that Cody just shared a bit of there as well, as he mentioned, in collaborating with celebrities for our cause, but also the deadlines that you guys need to know as well. So that's the important thing, too. The entries have to be received by Thursday, June 1st. And then, of course, you'll be able to know those that will be announced will be Friday, June the 16th as well. So, again, all the information is on the website, bravethecourt.com. So I want to ask you this part, Kelly, about this, because you've been able to inspire so many people as well as entertain. How does that feel to know that by doing something that you love, whether you're talking about the outdoors and you just got back from a trip recently, but now even with something like this, using your platform this way, how does it feel to know that you're inspiring other people?
It's just a great feeling all around. You know, with animals, it's very publicly known that that's such a huge passion for me. With basketball, it's not quite as well known yet, but I really want to be more involved with causes like this. And while this Brave the Court is sort of the first inaugural one, we're using it almost as a prototype to create something much larger in this vein for years to come that will be more athletic-oriented, things to raise awareness and raise support for different causes, whether that's things like Special Olympics or cancer research or for things like conservation. So this is giving us the first opportunity to test out what level of popularity something like this could have. And it is a limited entry. There's only 24 people that are going to be accepted into this first round. But as we grow this idea of Brave the Court, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, we're just thrilled for getting the chance to share it at this point and hope that people embrace it, people sign up, and, you know, this first one will hopefully lead to more in the future. And, you know, like you said, getting to use our platforms for a positive, good influence is a huge part of why we created Brave Wilderness.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you one last thing, Coyote, then we're going to remind our audience of that website again and how to stay connected with you. I noticed one of the things that they have to tell in the video that's 30 to 60 seconds for those who are going to be entering. Again, the ages for that is 14 to 18. One of the questions is your favorite animal. And talk to us about why that was one of the questions chosen.
Well, we wanted to mix, you know, animals still with basketball. I mean, I'm so synonymous with providing animal entertainment. It's always important for me to know what a kid's favorite animal is. Anytime I'm even recognized anywhere at an airport or a restaurant or anything like that, you know, when people come up and they recognize you, you start to have a conversation with them. And sometimes younger kids can get really shy really quickly. And I find that the first thing I'll ask is, what's your favorite animal? Because the second somebody opens up that door and says, oh, this is what my favorite thing is, then you've got a conversation starting point. So even with this tournament, it's like, it's important to know, you know, what a kid's favorite animal is. We want to know your favorite animal, your favorite basketball player. We want to know, of course, do you think you can beat me in basketball? So it's going to be good fun for absolutely everybody involved.
Love that. So, again, if you're at ages between 14 and 18 or you know someone who is and you think you can outball Coyote Peterson, make sure you guys do go over to the website again. It is bravethecourt.com. Very easy to be able to submit. Again, it's a video between 30 and 60 seconds. All the information is there on the website, bravethecourt.com. And, Coyote, really appreciate this time. How can our audience stay connected with you?
Yeah, if you do not know what Brave Wilderness is, all you have to do is search it on the internet. It should take you to our YouTube channel. We've got almost 1,000 videos at this point, so you can go down the rabbit hole of animal adventure. If you want to follow anything on social media, just Brave Wilderness or Coyote Peterson, and you'll find us.
All right, Coyote, thank you again. Really appreciate the time and looking forward to speaking with you again.
Right on. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's go make today amazing. Take care.